Elon Musk sent a private invitation, only you can see this. Stop what you're doing for just a heartbeat. Let the noise drop away, just for a breath. Because right now, something extraordinary is happening and you're at the absolute center of it. I know, the world is always tugging at you, notifications, pings, updates, another headline with Elon Musk's name. But this is different. This isn't just news, this is personal. This isn't something you'll find scrolling your feed or trending on your favorite platform. This isn't for everyone. This is only for you. Odd, right? Why you? Why now? Why, in a universe filled with millions of anonymous faces, would one of the most talked about people on Earth single you out, right at this moment, with a private invitation no one else can see? That uneasy flutter rising in your chest. That's your mind trying to rewrite the rules, searching for a catch, double-checking for a trick. It's natural. But stay with me. Because sometimes the door you've been waiting for opens without warning, and if you're not looking, you miss it entirely. Elon Musk. The myth, the disruptor, the lightning rod, so many see him as unreachable, a headline, a public sculpture of ambition and risk. Yet here you are, reading these words, meant only for you. A low whisper behind the world's static, a signal through all the noise. You are invited. Imagine it. Tonight, just as you're winding down, the light in your room softening at the edges, there's a subtle knock, not on your door, but inside your life itself. No announcement. No camera crew. No millions of viewers. Just an old-fashioned envelope, the kind nobody uses anymore. Heavy paper, sealed with the kind of care that says, "Only open if this matters to you." You touch it. And you feel, in some quiet place beneath the chatter, that this is no accident. But still, doubt flickers. You've seen so many exclusive offers, so much clickbait, endless promises of life change that wither in your inbox. So what makes this different? Pause. Listen. For once, take the risk of getting still. Because there are moments, rare, powerful moments, when the universe singles you out, tests your willingness to entertain the impossible. To imagine, just for a flash, that fate can break its pattern, that you can be the exception. Most invitations are generic, mass emails, group chats, all energy but no intention. But this one. This is between you and the future you've half-glimpsed in daydreams and, someday, thoughts. Between you and the possibility that something as simple as an envelope could change everything. So sit with it. Let the suspense tighten. Feel your heartbeat, not racing, but hushing the noise, making you aware of the breathless gap between routine and revelation. Because this is the contrast. Most days, you're just another scroll, another set of eyes in the crowd. But tonight, you're the main character in a story Elon Musk is actually part of. And nobody else gets to see this unless you choose to open it. Let's dwell in that possibility. You, at the crossroads. One path steers you back to the familiar, the thousand, maybe laters, stacked in neat rows. The other path asks you to open the private envelope, to test the myth that a single moment can rewire your story. There's something magical about what you can't see. That envelope holds the mystery that every extraordinary life requires. Every legend, every game changer, started with something others didn't notice. A message, a glance, an opportunity that looked ordinary, until someone decided it wasn't. And now, that someone is you. Pause with me now. Take this idea, roll it through your fingers like a secret. What if, just this once, everything was lining up for a reason? Maybe you didn't choose tonight for a breakthrough. Maybe you've trained yourself to reduce everything to algorithms and odds. But what if Elon's invitation isn't about what you do for a living, or your resume, or how visible you are online? What if it's a test of presence, of willingness, of the courage to step forward even when you can't guess the outcome? Think about the most meaningful moments in your life. Did any of them come with clear instructions? Did certainty show up first, or did it come later, when you realized the leap you took became the story you told? You're probably wondering, what does the invitation actually say? Is it a job, an adventure, a key to something bigger? Or is it just curiosity bait? Here's the truth, what's written inside only matters if you open the envelope. Until you cross that line, the words may as well not exist. It's all possibility, all potential, all suspense. Which means right now, the real test isn't what you find, but whether you dare to look. So, will you open it? Will you let go, just for this moment, of the urge to second-guess and dismiss, to retreat into the safe background? Will you, for once, be the one who acts first, instead of waiting for more proof, more permission, more guarantees? Because if you do, if you claim this private invitation, your life might not just change. It might finally make sense. Don't blink. Don't scroll away. Pause. Everything else can wait. You've received a private invitation from Elon Musk. And only you can decide what comes next. Pause for a moment longer. Let yourself sit with that invitation. The weight of it, the absurdity of it, the eerie way it fits like something you've been waiting for without knowing you were waiting at all. Because, truthfully, how many chances do you get to be the only person in the world seeing something? Not a group, not an audience, but you, singular, chosen, trusted with a secret no algorithm can deliver to the masses? Maybe that both excites and unsettles you. We live in a time when everything is public, everything is shared. Privacy feels like an old photograph in a drawer, forgotten, then found when you least expect it. But this is one of those moments. A private corridor opening, just wide enough for you to step inside. Let's be honest. You're tempted to laugh this off, to say it's all just theater, a staged piece of fiction. But then you remember all the impossible things that were laughed at once. Self-driving cars, rockets landing themselves, sending memes to Mars. If anyone could make this strange invitation possible, it would be someone who already made you believe in the ridiculous. So why not you? Here's the paradox. Most people dream of being chosen, plucked from the background, handed a passport to the extraordinary. But when the moment knocks quietly, they often flinch, duck back into the shadows, and let the chance slip to the next person in line. Don't do that tonight. Not this time. Imagine you run your thumb beneath the flap of that envelope, feeling the drag of stiff paper. Your pulse stutters. The world outside goes fuzzy, almost echoing. Inside that envelope? A single, impossibly crisp card. No branding. No hashtags. No sponsor watermark hiding beneath the light. Just a date. A time. A place. And a line in small, handwritten letters, almost lost in the margin. Most never notice. Few ever accept. Welcome. It's not for show. It's not a promo. It's not begging you to spread the message or forward it to 5 friends. This is yours, solely yours, because you were paying attention when the world wanted you numbed by entertainment. There's an energy in the air now. A hush, as if something off-script is moving behind the scenes. For the first time in a long while, nobody knows your next move except you. That's real power, silent, personal, the opposite of what you get living out loud on social media, hunting for likes and applause. You start to wonder. Was I noticed? Was it random? Was it fate or friction or just being at the right place at the right time? Pause and realize, these are distracting questions. The only thing that matters is that the invitation is in your hands, now. Let's step deeper. Why would Elon Musk send you a private invite? Because, at some level, visionaries are always recruiting, always seeking others cut from the same improbable fabric. People who still chase questions without easy answers. People who see not what is, but what could be. And maybe you've forgotten, in the dull rhythm of daily life, that you could be one of those people. Maybe you always were. That's the difference between watchers and doers, between sideline thinkers and history makers. It isn't always talent or wealth or even timing. It's the willingness to enter the room before you know what's on the other side. Pause. Let the uncertainty flutter without shutting it down this time. Remember when you were little and an unopened envelope or a secret note was the most exciting thing in the universe? Back then, mystery felt like a personal currency. Each invitation, each unopened box, each knock on the door was laced with magic. You may have outgrown the childish wonder, but tonight, maybe it's quietly resurfacing, the sense that you are on the verge of something uniquely yours. So, back to the card in your hand. The details are so simple, it almost feels confrontational. No explanation. No context. No hype. Because this isn't mass-marketed hope. This is the anti-hype. This is rarity. You take a breath. Feeling both exposed and oddly invincible. It's just you, a place, a time, and that faint, handwritten promise. You think of the billions living their ordinary, scrolling lives right now. How quickly they would delete a message like this. How many would call it a scam or a joke or a trick? But you have the sliver of faith required to show up. To discover what's behind the door only you are allowed to open. Here's where the story splits. From here, your future pivots on a decision so small, it almost disappears. Do you walk away, pretend the invitation never arrived, bury it under cynicism and busy work? Or do you go? Do you show up, against every practical bone in your body? Risking the possibility that your ordinary life could be rewritten in a single night? The world puts its bets on the safe outcome. Play it cool. Don't get your hopes up. But look around you. Nothing extraordinary was ever accomplished by those who waited for guarantees. Every real invitation comes with a risk. A risk of feeling foolish, of being let down, of returning home with nothing but a story. But every breakthrough begins with saying yes. Before you even know what yes truly means. Pause, and decide. Could you be brave enough to accept the invite others never see? Because opening this card, walking into the unknown, is not just about seeing what Elon placed on the table for you. It's about proving, to yourself and the universe, that you are still willing to answer when the future calls your name. Even as a whisper no one else can hear. And if you are, if you truly are, then nothing, not even the stars, can say how far you'll go. You probably thought it would feel different. The moment of decision, the instant before action. But truth is, it's quiet. Calm, almost. Like a ripple in a still pond. You stare at the card, that single, unbreakable detail, your name. Your name, handwritten, with care and certainty. No digital font, no copy-paste. A personal risk from someone who has everything to lose, and still bets on the unknown. Why you? Why tonight? Most days, you're invisible. One speck among many. Answering messages, feeding algorithms, keeping pace with a crowd that barely notices itself. But to Elon Musk, tonight, you are singular. Intended. Necessary. Sit with that. The room around you fades, routine dissolves. There's only this invitation and the thump of possible futures, pulsing at the base of your spine. You feel the shimmer of doubt. Old logic prickling at the edge of your mind. What's the point? What if this is nothing? But the stubborn, sparklit part of you refuses to back down. Why not me? Why not now? Because that's the secret the world's risk-takers know. Someone, somewhere, is always the exception. Someone always gets unexpected chances. Someone's always called out from obscurity. And sometimes, it's simply the person who dares to respond when everyone else sits out. Let's follow the thought through. Imagine. You show up at the given address. It's unexpected, neither glitzy nor secretive. A straightforward place, doors open, lights warm, everything understated. It's not an event, not a crowd, but a threshold. An entryway only you can step across. A calm figure waits there, maybe it's not Elon himself. But the presence of someone used to seeing big dreams up close. They hand you another envelope. Heavier than the first. Your name, again, not quite the same handwriting, yet just as deliberate. You hold it. The sense that this story is building to something you never dared outline for yourself. Pause as your thumb slides under the flap. For a moment you brace for the pitch, the joke, the inevitability of disappointment. But there's nothing like that. Instead, a blank page. Crisp, untouched, almost stubbornly empty. You look at the attendant, confusion written across your face. They nod, as if this is the answer everyone searches for. Write down what you've never told anyone you want, they say. Write the future as you wish it. You freeze. Hands shaking, mind scrambling through layers of self-doubt, practicality, cynicism. Is this a trick? A test? A setup? And yet, maybe this is the point. Even the world's greatest inventors, leaders, and revolutionaries all had a private moment. When someone, anyone, finally asked, not, what do you do? But, what do you really want, if no one is watching? Your heart pounds as truth bubbles up. Maybe it's wild. Maybe it's simple. Maybe it's just, yours, for the first time in years. This is where hundreds, thousands, millions never cross the line. They want to stay anonymous in the crowd, protected by anonymity, excuses, context. But not you. Not this time. You pick up the pen. You hesitate. Search for meaning in the air around you. You remember childhood dreams. Instincts you buried under 1,000 shoulds and deadlines. You picture the impossible. What if you did write it down? What if you gave it shape and voice and form? Risked vulnerability by making it real? There's fear, of course there is. But the fear is different now, shaped more like anticipation than dread. So you do what nobody expects. You write. You let the words tumble onto the page. No matter how big or foolish or irrational they seem. A vision unfolds. Not just of what you want, but of a possible version of yourself. Untethered, invited, brave. When you're done, the page trembles in your fingers. You hand it back, half ashamed, half triumphant. The attendant just nods, sealing your answer in a fresh envelope. Elon will see this, they say. Almost as if it's a promise. Now pause. Let everything catch up. Nobody asks us to declare our impossible wishes out loud. But that's exactly what private invitations have always been about. An unopened envelope is potential. An opened one is transformation. You might wonder what happens next. Maybe the answer isn't instant glory. Maybe it's not a viral video, not tonight's headline. Maybe the miracle is simpler. Having the courage to be known, even in total secrecy, by someone who reimagines possibility every day. This is where your story divides. Between the you that kept waiting for proof, and the you that dared to write it down. All the scrolling stops. All the noise fades. This is your story now. An invitation, answered. A future, named. A moment, claimed. You leave that place changed. Not because of Elon Musk's signature or the setting or even the page itself. But because you chose to participate in the possibility of something private and soul-shifting. Everyone wants public validation. Only a few accept the gift of a private beginning. So, tonight, that's who you are. The one who opened. The one who wrote. The one who stepped forward. Even when it wasn't safe. Pause one last time. Will you let this new chapter fade, or will you turn the page? The pen, the envelope, the vision. They're all still here. Waiting for your next move. You step out into the night air, invitation and page tucked to your chest like something simultaneously fragile and unbreakable. For a moment, the world feels recalibrated, colors a little brighter, sounds a touch sharper, as if saying yes to one private mystery rearranged what's possible in plain daylight. No one knows about your encounter. No one saw Elon's invitation slip into your hands. No one witnessed you writing the vision you've kept silent for years, not even your closest friend or family. And there's power in that, isn't there? The world won't validate this turning point, at least not yet. But deep inside, there's a pulse, almost a secret handshake you give yourself. I was chosen. I responded. I am different now. Pause. That feeling? It's rare. Because real miracles don't always arrive with confetti and viral videos. Sometimes, the universe just sends you a quiet test to see Will you be present, even when only you will ever know the result? You feel a shift. For the first time in so long, the next step isn't shadowed by reflex doubt. You are lighter, almost untethered, because you acted with no audience. You faced the challenge and let possibility reshape your definition of who you are. But don't stop with just one act of courage. Let this be the opening ripple of a new pattern. A reminder that every day you wake up, you're one private invitation away from being more than you were the night before. The world, for all its noise, runs on the actions people take when nobody's watching, the late-night dreamers, the risk-takers in quiet offices, the ones bold enough to stand at an open door and walk through. Let's zoom out for a second. Think about Elon Musk, not as an icon, but as a series of private decisions. The garage coder, the restless entrepreneur, the guy who pitched his wildest ideas to strangers in rooms that barely cared. Every one of his public wins began with an unseen choice. Calling back after rejection, saying yes to a wild scheme, risking his reputation on a chance nobody else understood. You carry that same spark. Tonight proves it. Most people spend their lives waiting for the big, showy opportunity. They want billboards, parades, standing ovations. But the invitations that actually count rarely look big from the outside. They look like a single envelope. A fleeting moment at a threshold. A blank page demanding honesty. Can you sense in your body, now, that subtle difference between hope and reality? The first time you answer a private invitation like this, something reprograms in you. You become the sort of person who expects possibility. You begin living like you're visible, even in a crowd. You realize the right opportunity is never about timing or fame, it's about readiness. Pause, breathe. Because tomorrow, the traffic will buzz, headlines will churn, and life's endless carousel will spin again. But you'll walk into your routine with the comfort of a secret, that you are, in fact, someone Elon Musk might invite. And more importantly, you are someone who would say yes. What will you do with that knowledge? Here's the hidden treasure buried in the night. Every time you choose to see yourself as invited, you tune your attention to moments that others ignore. Every random conversation, every odd message, every brush with the extraordinary starts to feel a little less coincidental and a little more like fate. Simply because you show up. This will sit with you, won't it? You'll replay it tomorrow when you're sipping coffee or waiting for the light to change at an intersection. How easily you could have scrolled away. How quickly you could have written this all off as fiction. But instead, you chose curiosity over certainty. That choice is what remakes the world. Inside you, the page is no longer blank. You've written the future you want, and even if nothing materializes right away, you've already changed the script. You stopped being a passive reader of life. And started being the author, even if no one else can see the draft just yet. Pause, let that sink in. The invitation didn't vanish. It expanded. It transformed from a card, an envelope, a place, to a habit. Every day you choose to say yes to yourself. You become the person private invitations were made for. So, tonight, don't rush off. Savor the afterglow of your decision. Hold space for the exhilarating, unnerving truth that you are capable of welcoming the unknown. That you are worthy of being chosen. That you are not just another face in the algorithm's swirl. You can put the page away, tuck the envelope into a drawer. But what you wrote down can't be unwritten. It's there, carved into your memory. A stubborn beacon reminding you that it's okay to expect miracles. To want more. To show up for yourself in private before you ever make it public. And if, someday, the world does catch up. If your story becomes the headline. If what you wrote in quiet turns into a breakthrough. A company. A movement. A wild new love. Or simply a life lived with intention. You'll know when it started. It started when you were invited. When you opened. When you said yes. When nobody else was watching. So, as the night settles, as your heart steadies, ask yourself just one more time. What private invitation are you ready to open next? You never know. The next one could change everything. And maybe, just maybe, Elon Musk will be waiting on the other side.